San Diego real estate market is hot, hot, hot. It's been very difficult for buyers, particularly VA buyers. But today we're going to unlock this thing. We've got the key in the studio today. Jake Smoke is here, tip of the Spear Real Estate team.
How you doing,
buddy?
Appreciate it.
Emmeline Park is also here. I would shake your hand. We're going to do like a virtual distance shake here. So guys, VA buyers, I work with a lot of VA buyers. I know you do as well.
Right.
It's been a struggle.
Yeah, it's hard work out there.
It's hard work.
Especially for VA buyers.
So what do we do? How do we, start to stack chips on the right side of the scales here for VA buyers in this market to help win? It's one thing to be approved. It's another thing to find a home you love. And then it's a whole other thing to actually win that home.
Yeah, definitely. So let's backtrack a little bit here.
Okay.
Our team, Tip of the Spear Real Estate team, we're all military vets. We've all been overseas. We've deployed. We've served our country. We know what it takes, first and foremost, right, to work our butts off. I was about to swear there, but to really work our butts off. And we've been through sacrifices. We understand what those sacrifices are, and we really acknowledge that our veterans need a home, first and foremost. Like, we just need to get into a home. So we know how to fight for them. We know what it takes, right? And so in this market, it's really just having the grit and determination and just not giving up, right? And some of the many things we do, first and foremost, some of it's video. So we really market towards that military community and that network to show them that we are truly the team here in San Diego to get their offers and to get them into homes, right? One of the things that I do to get my offers accepted when I'm representing a VA buyer or anyone is doing videos, right?
Really?
So when I submit an offer, one thing I do is I send a video with it. So a bomb video or something else that I'll embed to the email. And I talk about myself. I talk about mostly the client, what they loved about the home, why they liked it, why they see themselves in it. Kind of like the letters that we were able to do at one point, right?
Right.
But this is creating that face-to-face connection.
Do you ever have the buyers send a video?
I have. And I've seen one other agent send one to me when I had a listing, and I was like, oh man.
That makes it,
Yeah.
You just gave me that idea.
Yep.
But like, talk about making a connection. I mean, if you could see the actual family on the other side going, please pick us. We love this house. I mean, that must do something.
It definitely does. So it pulls on those emotional strings, right? Us being all military veterans, we want to support the military as much as we can. And when we have a listing, that's huge. So if another agent does that and sends over a video with their offer, that's an automatic connection right there.
I don't know that anyone's really doing this, Jake.
No. It's more than just numbers and words on paper, right, on the contract, because that's all you see when you're getting these offers or when you're presenting those offers. You got to go above and beyond. So that's one example, and that's been huge for me specifically.
Bomb videos.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
And I think that stands out because I've had on the listing side, I've had when you have multiple offers coming in, you see one that's doing a video, you're like, okay, that stands out.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
This is like big news for me right now. I don't know why. I'm like the video guy, and here we are talking about videos, being a difference maker in this highly competitive market, because you're getting multiple offers, you're getting 10, 12 offers, even if it's 4, 5, or 6. Usually you're kind of setting those in 2 different categories, like when you open the mail.
Right.
These are going straight to the trash. They're getting we chose another offer email template, copy paste. These people we're going to circle back with.
Yes.
Talk to the lender or whatever, or see if they have more proof of funds, if they're waiving the appraisal or whatever those little details might be. But you don't typically counter everybody. You don't typically really consider everybody. Mm-hmm. So the first goal is to get in the right pile.
Yes.
Make a good first impression.
Yeah.
So anything that stands out that gets you into the right pile, now you're at the plate. Because you're just in the dugout before then. Now you actually get an at bat. Hey, we've got a shot. They're going to counter us.
Yep.
And maybe we can get there, maybe we can't, but we're in the game.
Yeah, and completely. So, and to add another note to that, I think the majority of our team, we're very open. We're very transparent. Like, at the bottom line, we're here to fight for our clients and to represent our VA clients well. And we start that off by just being open and transparent. In this industry, That's not always the case with, working with the other person on the other side. So just putting that best foot forward and being open and say, hey, this is what my buyers can do. This is what they have. Can we make this work?
Mm-hmm.
Let's figure out a solution here, right? Because it's a win-win. You got to make it a win-win for both parties.
Yeah.
Getting to know the seller side is very important too.
Yes.
Having that communication with the listing agent from the start, because a lot of times they're military too. And so if our clients have that connection with their clients, then they've already established that camaraderie.
Yeah, it's like, isn't that in the KW ethics or something, like win, win, win or no deal? That's
It
in
might
there
be, but
somewhere.
don't quote me on KW's ethics here. Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I've always loved that mindset of like, listen, this really needs to work for everybody. Sometimes you get a seller who's really just in it for
Right. The bottom line for them.
the
right?
bottom line for
Yeah.
them, and while I understand that is going to be the case sometimes,
Right.
that's typically not going to be the best for the VA buyer. So maybe it's good to know that right up front. Hey, listen, this one, it's owned by an investor.
Mm-hmm.
There's no chance for us here.
You've got to really understand, the enemy's not the right word, but you've got to really understand who you're working with on the other side of the table.
Yeah.
And really understand how to illustrate that to your own clients, and then also how to interact with the listing agent, right? To push the ball rolling the right direction.
I think it's good that if you're a buyer's agent who does listings as well,
Yep.
to be able to advise, because sometimes with just buyer's agents, they really don't know the other side. They can't put themselves in their shoes and go, oh, well, this is actually really important. I think the number one thing I see in that realm is a lot of listing agents say, I just want the contract to be accurate. Can you please just fill out all the spaces and put everything in there so I know what it, and so that means that there's still offers going out there that are like incomplete, and
Right.
like the very basic things that if you're a buyer's agent, you might think, oh, well, who cares? They know what our offer is. I put bullet points in the email too, and well, they'll kind of counter us anyway, and we'll fix whatever we need to fix. They haven't been sitting in that seat where you're getting all these offers, you're trying to see who you want to work with.
Especially if
Right.
it comes down to a tiebreaker, because you can have two very similar offers, and you're finding the small little details that's going to differentiate one over the other. So
Yeah, that's where relationships can come into play too, because
Yes.
trust matters.
Yep.
This is a small community. It's like a big city, but it's a small community. And you like if I'm writing on your offer, on your listing, that's going to be something where you're going to say, now it doesn't mean my person's going to just get it, but you have trust. Like, okay,
Right.
I know that he knows what he's doing. I
Yep.
have someone who's communicating that I know and that I trust. So I feel like this one is definitely like they can get the loan.
Yep.
And so that may help on a tiebreaker or something like that. So relationships also play a role here.
Completely. And with our team, we've all of us have had listings. We've all worked with buyers, right? So we're a team. We're a handful of individual real estate agents that all help and support each other. That's why we call ourselves a team and not a group, because in the military, a team is truly a group of individuals that are here to support and back each other up. In the Marine Corps, you've got fire teams, you've got, all different. In the Marine Corps specifically, it's very sectioned off into different groups of individuals, and those are all teams at different levels. And each layer of each team is there to support each other and to go up the line, right? So almost every military member, if they served honorably, they really understand the meaning of what a team is.
Yeah, it's chains, it's links in a chain.
Yep.
Right? And so when you look at, it really is a team effort now. I mean, maybe a few years ago things were a little bit different. It really does take a village to make deals happen these days.
It does.
It
And
really
we have
does.
all supported each other. When I'm out of pocket with family doing something, one of our other team members, Nate or Em, will step in, show homes, write offers. We're on the phone all the time communicating, right? First and foremost.
I think our clients appreciate that too, knowing that they have the backing of a team rather than just one individual agent who's sort of making all the decisions. So if I'm unsure about something, I can say, hey, you know what, let me talk to my team about this and see what they think.
Yeah.
And they really appreciate that.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
so. And for our collective VA buyers who are out there, keep fighting the good fight. You know, right now this is one of those things. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You know, we're just not in that kind of market. So work with good people who have your best interest in mind, who are willing to fight for you. Guys, thank you so much for coming in today. It was great to have you here. Really appreciate your time. And hey, let's share this video with your friends and help make them smarter than everyone else.